Some goodbyes save your soul. Not every bond is meant to last forever. Sometimes the hardest decision, the one that keeps you up at night, the one that makes your heart ache, is also the one that sets you free. We grow up believing that family is forever, that friendships should be cherished at all costs. But what if that cost is you? Imagine this. Every time you speak to them, you feel smaller. Every interaction drains you, leaves you questioning your worth. You keep forgiving, keep hoping, keep waiting for them to change, but they don't. And deep down, you know they never will. Some people love you in ways that hurt. Some connections feel like home, until you realize that home should never feel like a battlefield. So here's the truth no one tells you. Walking away doesn't make you heartless. It doesn't mean you didn't care. It means you care enough about yourself, about your peace, about the person you're becoming. Today, we're talking about the signs that it's time to let go. The moments when you know, even if you don't want to admit it, that you need to cut ties, even with family or close friends. If you've been feeling this weight on your heart, this is for you. Stay with me till the end, and if this speaks to you, support our little journey by liking and subscribing, because everyone deserves a life free from toxic ties, and if this helps even one person walk away from pain, then this work is worth it. Lesson 1. When they constantly disrespect your boundaries, love, whether it comes from family or friends, should never require you to abandon yourself. Yet some people treat your boundaries like suggestions instead of necessities. They guilt-trip you when you say no. They invade your space, dismiss your feelings, or push you into situations that make you uncomfortable. And each time, you tell yourself, maybe they didn't mean it. Maybe I'm overreacting. But deep down, you know, respect isn't something you should have to beg for. Think about it. If someone repeatedly ignores what makes you feel safe and valued, are they really showing love? True connection isn't about control, manipulation, or making you feel guilty for protecting yourself. It's about mutual respect. The people who truly care about you will listen when you say, "This hurts me." They won't mock your emotions, twist your words, or make you feel like you're asking for too much. Family ties and long-term friendships don't give anyone the right to disrespect you. Just because someone has known you for years doesn't mean they own a piece of you. It doesn't matter if they're a parent, sibling, cousin, or childhood friend. If they cross the same lines over and over, they're showing you who they are. Believe them. At some point, you have to stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You have to stop shrinking yourself to make them comfortable. If you've set clear boundaries, had open conversations, and still find yourself feeling unheard, disrespected, or emotionally exhausted, it's time to step back. You don't owe anyone unlimited access to your life, especially those who make you feel like your needs don't matter. Cutting off toxic people isn't cruel, it's an act of self-love, and sometimes the most powerful thing you can say to someone who refuses to respect you is nothing at all. Silence is your final boundary, and that's okay. Lesson 2, when the relationship feels one-sided. Love, friendship, and family are supposed to be a two-way street. But what happens when you're the only one walking? When you're always the one reaching out, checking in, making plans, and holding everything together? When you realize that if you stopped trying, the relationship would disappear? That's not connection. It's emotional labor disguised as loyalty. A healthy relationship, whether with a friend or family member, isn't about keeping score, but it also isn't about being the only one who cares. If someone only comes to you when they need something, if they disappear when you need support, or if they never ask how you're doing unless it benefits them, pay attention. That's not love, that's convenience, and you deserve better than being someone's emotional crutch. Maybe you've told yourself that's just how they are. They're bad at expressing emotions. They're busy. They don't mean to make me feel like this. But let's be real. People make time for who and what matters to them. A relationship should never leave you feeling like an afterthought, like your presence is tolerated rather than cherished. If you constantly feel drained, unappreciated, or unseen, that's a sign. You don't have to keep people in your life just because of history. Shared memories don't erase present neglect. You don't have to hold on to someone who only reaches out when they need a favor, who ghosts you when you're struggling, or who makes you feel like you're never quite enough. It's not your job to keep proving your worth to people who should already see it. Walking away from a one-sided relationship doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're valuing yourself enough to stop chasing people who wouldn't notice if you were gone. It means making space for the right people, the ones who show up, who pour into you as much as you pour into them. Because love, real love, isn't a battle for attention. It's effortless in the ways that matter. Lesson 3. When they constantly put you down, words hold power, whether we're speaking them or hearing them. And when someone, especially a family member or close friend, consistently belittles you, criticizes you, or mocks your dreams, it's more than just hurtful. It's harmful. At first, it might seem like harmless teasing, or maybe they're just being honest or keeping it real. But over time, that constant negativity starts to chip away at your self-esteem and self-worth. Think about how it feels when someone you trust tells you that your aspirations are unrealistic, your choices are wrong, or your feelings don't matter. It's like being in a room full of doubts, with their voices echoing louder than your own. No one deserves to feel small, especially not from people who are supposed to uplift them. Yet, many of us stay in relationships where the other person continuously undermines us, making us question our value, our decisions, or even our identity. If you find yourself constantly trying to prove your worth to someone who keeps putting you down, that's a clear sign that the relationship is doing more harm than good. Every time you second-guess your decisions because of their criticism, you lose a little more of yourself. Every time you hide your excitement or hold back your ideas for fear of ridicule, you're silencing a part of your spirit. This behavior isn't love, it's control. When someone puts you down, whether it's with sarcasm, passive-aggressive comments, or outright insults, they're trying to maintain power over you. They want to make you doubt yourself, so you stay dependent on their approval. Real love, real friendship isn't about tearing each other down, it's about building each other up. Leaving someone who constantly puts you down isn't about being weak or abandoning them in their time of need. It's about protecting your mental and emotional health. You deserve to be surrounded by people who encourage you, who believe in you, and who celebrate your wins, not people who make you feel less than. If you can't remember the last time someone lifted you up, maybe it's time to consider whether the relationship is worth keeping at all.